What happens when a single thoughtless act, a prank that takes all of a minute, ends up costing someone everything? Today we're going to talk about a story that starts with something as simple as a can of spray paint and ends in absolute tragedy. This is the silent cost.
Let's just start with this, because it really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Your 1 minute of fun, someone's entire life of punishment. It's a pretty chilling thought, right? And it perfectly sets the stage for how 1 moment of just complete recklessness can change lives forever.
So, our story kicks off on what seems like a totally normal night. For a group of friends, it all starts with an idea. One that felt like it was no big deal, just a bit of harmless fun. Okay, so picture this. We're in a big city, late at night, and we meet Varun. He's a 22-year-old college kid. Just like a lot of us at that age, he's just living in the moment, not really thinking too far ahead.
Varun's out with his buddies, just hanging out, taking in the vibe of the city. And that's when they spot it, this brand new, shiny digital sign glowing under the streetlights. It's meant to be helpful, right? To guide people through the city.
And in that moment, this impulse just hits Varun. You know the kind. It's a classic prank. It seems so simple, so whatever. A quick spray of paint, a laugh with his friends, and they'd be gone. The whole thing forgotten in like 5 minutes.
But here's the thing. This is the detail that changes everything. He grabs a can of black paint, and he doesn't just tag it anywhere, he specifically covers up the most important part, the arrows pointing to the hospital. To him, it's just a mark, but in reality, he just blinded the road. Now at this exact same moment, on another side of the city, a completely different story is playing out. And this is where that harmless prank is about to crash head-on with a truly desperate situation. So imagine this. A family is in the middle of a full-blown crisis. Their mother is incredibly sick, and they are literally racing against the clock to get her to a hospital. And to make it all so much worse, they're not from around here. They don't know the roads at all. They're completely counting on the signs to show them the way. And their frantic drive leads them to this exact junction, the one spot where their path to survival crosses Varun's moment of mischief. They get to the sign, desperate for a clear direction, but all they see is black paint. The directions are just gone. And this is what's so terrifying. It all boils down to such a simple, impossible choice, left or right. With a life hanging in the balance, in a state of total panic, the driver has to just guess. It's a 50-50 shot, with an entire family's world at stake. They guessed wrong, and that one single guess sends them 5 kilometers down the wrong road. 5 kilometers of precious, irreplaceable time just evaporating as they drive further and further away from the help they so desperately need.
They do eventually find their way to the hospital, but the damage had been done. See, the real cost of that wrong turn wasn't measured in kilometers. It was measured in minutes. 10 minutes. That's how much time they lost. The time it took to drive down the wrong path, figure out the mistake, turn the car around, and finally find the hospital. Just 10 minutes. It really doesn't sound like a lot of time, does it?
But in this case, 10 minutes was an eternity. These are the words the doctor has to deliver to the family. A life wasn't just lost, it was lost by 10 minutes, the exact 10 minutes that were stolen by a vandalized sign.
So, the sun comes up on a new day, but for everyone in this story, nothing will ever be the same. And now, we go back to Varun, who has no idea that he's about to finally understand the true weight of what he did.
He's just walking by that same spot from last night, and he sees a police car. Cops are looking at the sign, his sign. He sees the flash of a camera taking pictures of his little prank. And that feeling of curiosity starts to curdle into this knot in his stomach. And then he hears it. He sees the family. Their faces are just broken. And he overhears the son, his voice cracking, tell the officer, "Sir, we got lost because someone had damaged the sign showing the way." Every single word hits him like a punch to the gut. The laughter from the night before just screams in his ears, but now it sounds disgusting. And right there, in that one single moment, the entire weight of his harmless prank comes crashing down on him, and his whole world just falls apart. I mean, just think about that whiplash, the horrifying contrast. What was a total joke just a few hours before, a can of spray paint and a bunch of laughter, is now a fatal mistake. All the laughter is gone, and all that's left are the tears of a grieving family and the cold, hard reality of a police investigation. Now, Varun's story is obviously tragic, but this isn't just about one person's terrible mistake. It's actually a huge lesson for all of us about our shared responsibility.
We really have to change how we think about stuff like road signs. They're not just some government property that doesn't belong to anyone. No, they're shared community assets. They are a quiet but absolutely vital part of the system we all rely on to keep us safe.
Look, it really boils down to this. Yeah, it's the government's job to put up and maintain this stuff. But it's on every single one of us, as citizens, to protect it. Because freedom without any sense of discipline or responsibility, that doesn't lead to fun. It leads to destruction.
There's this one line from the source material that really stuck with me. Think of a signboard as the eye of the road, and when you damage it, you're not just breaking some metal, you are blinding the path for someone who might be counting on it to save their life. So, what's the big takeaway here? At the end of the day, a sign is just a piece of metal. Right up until the moment it becomes the only thing that matters. And that makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other silent, vital things in our own communities are we taking for granted? And what part will you play in protecting them?
एक कदम विकसित भारत की ओर।